everyone, in today's video I'm thinking about my summer makeup bag and I am going to create a lovely soft summery look that's great for the daytime and can also be amped up for the evening. To that end I'm going to use Beauty Pie Serum, which is really lovely and worth a look, some lovely Bobbi Brown peachy eyeshadows, the new Haus mascara, which I think has been out a few weeks, so I'm quite late to this one, a lovely new Gucci lipstick, and a quite interesting Morphe blush set, which is definitely worth the look. So please watch on. So starting with the Beauty Pie Superluminous, got to read the rest of this, Tinted Skin Glow Serum. The clue's in the name, it's a serum, it's not a tinted moisturiser. They do a tinted moisturiser that's got SPF 40 in. This one has no SPF and just basically gives you glow. Now, it's made in Japan, and what I really like about it, it's got the little balls inside, so you've got to give it a good old shake before you use it, but the balls provide reassurance, as ever in a woman's life. So that's quite good, because you need to know that the product's actually going to be mixed in. It's got a hyaluronic complexion brightener. Gives us a sheer, light, luminous coverage, and it's for skins that need a bit of extra polish. So it's not giving you real coverage, but it is giving you that little bit of finish, as it were. Now, I should tell you that this has gone through, this is the third iteration, as far as I know, of this product. And I've actually got the previous iterations. This is the one that was the Superluminous Skin Genius. You may have had that because this was a few years ago. This may be something that you bought. Then that turned into the Superluminous Glow Filter. And as you can see, mine is still in the box. I bought it at the back end of last year thinking, oh, I'll save it for spring, whatever. And then I didn't use it. And then by that time, this new one had come out. So you can tell I need to clear out because I've still got these. I should have cleared them out. So this one I think has got an 18-month shelf life. It's got light reflecting skincare, and this is what I really enjoyed about the first iteration of it. It was just a really nice luminous finish. It's also got something called collagen amino acids for a healthy skin barrier, and tripeptide 5, which apparently is proven to improve skin firmness and reduce the appearance of wrinkles. So true to Beauty Pie, actually, all their products do several things in one go. So something I appreciate actually about the brand. I'll just use my Eldridge mini brush in keeping with the slight holiday theme. Now, you are meant to just use your fingers. I'm never really that successful in just using fingers. So I just tend to get it under my nails and make a mess. And I'm trying to make a good impression with you. So here we go. Now all I've got is my daily skincare, my SPF, my cream, my Renegade, which has got SPF 50 at the moment. And on top of that, I've got my SPF, which is also 50, because minimising risk here. Now, we have had a few hot days here in the UK, so my skin hasn't quite caught up with the summer tone, which is what this is bought for, because actually I'm a medium deep in this, just so you know, in a kind of springtime. But I've been so good with my SPF, I've hardly got any colour on my face, so this is going to look slightly darker than it probably should, than would be desirable, in other words. But give it a month, I'll have caught up. And normally, as I said, this is the kind of product I'm wearing June, July, kind of just before I might start thinking about going away. Okay, so that has undoubtedly evened out the skin tone. It's got rid of a bit of the redness that I've had from sneezing and so on. I've got a delightful spot bang in the middle of my forehead, and it really is a bullseye. It's absolutely magnificent. You've got to give it to my skin. It's fantastic. That is what that looks like. Ignore the shade because it is darker than it probably needs. Well, it's darker than it should be given my current skin tone, but I'll grow into it. From memory, I don't think this oxidized in the previous iteration, but let's see. Although my experience of oxidization, things don't tend to get lighter, but do they? I don't know. Let me know. And let me know if you've used any of the iterations of this product, because I'm hoping this is as good as the original, at least the original to me. I'm pretty sure this was new when I first bought it, because it's my second bottle. And this was the one that I've kind of recommended to lots of people, because it's kind of handy. Now I might put a little bit of powder. Where are we? I'll put a bit of the Givenchy Prisme Libre, which I wouldn't ordinarily, I think, but I'm in a really hot room at the moment because the air conditioning hasn't been fixed. So it hasn't been fixed, it's my fault. It was meant to be serviced in November, and I couldn't imagine that the weather might get hotter. I'm paying for my lack of imagination. At any rate, let's put a little bit of powder here. You really don't have to. And actually, I don't think I ever put powder in the previous times I was using, the previous 2 sets of bottles I was using. I will now just quickly do my brows. I'm using Charlotte Tilbury Legendary Brows. I've started using this again recently, and I'd kind of forgotten what a lovely product it is. So I'll just quickly do this. Now, little bit of Lisa Eldridge on the lids, and then onto the fun eyeshadows. Okay, if you've not thought of this product, it's just really nice. This is Lisa Eldridge. These are her liquid eyeshadows. I know I use them virtually on every video because I use them virtually every day of my life. But if you've not been on this channel before, and you've not heard me kind of, or seen me kind of go, oh, I'm just putting this on now. These are really worth considering. They just even everything out on the eyelids, get rid of any redness, any veins, any kind of, with me, it's kind of too much darkness. And it's just such a lovely smooth finish, particularly for dry or mature eyes. So these are great. Now, the eyeshadows. This is Bobbi Brown's Peachy Nudes. Let me show them to you. They are absolutely delightful. There we go. That's what they look like. 3 mattes and 2 metallics. You can see the 2 metallics here, these 2 here. Let me swatch them for you. Now, Bobbi Brown's one of those brands, isn't it, that we kind of forget about, and I think it's probably it feels like it's not as popular. I have to say, I used them a lot when I was a lot younger, and I love the lipsticks. I mean, I'm sure lots of you will have used the lipsticks, because for a long time, only Bobbi Brown was kind of doing these lovely, natural, neutral lipsticks, which were kind of your lips but better, in different intensities, but so easy to wear and such a delight. And while they also did lots of other products that we all enjoyed, I just feel that it's a brand that we kind of don't really think about. It's a bit like MAC. I mean, I'm sure they're doing fine. I'm just saying that it's not a kind of obvious, it's not really an obvious brand that we kind of think about. I'm just swatching these on the back of my hand just to show you they're really very gentle. Now, they're made in a combination of Taiwan and China, and these retail at £42. As I said, there are 3 mattes and 2 shimmers, and I think I'm right in saying there's 4 iterations of these. There's cooler tones and warmer tones. The reason why I chose the peachy tones is I have been on a little bit of a peachy quest. Here are the shades. Can you see the metallics there? I have been on a bit of a peachy shade just to do a kind of exactly the kind of makeup we're doing now here together, which is just a light warm makeup, not a really warm, really glowy makeup, but just sort of a bit of warmth, quite easy with just a nice lengthening mascara or maybe even a brow mascara, and just simple and not stressful. So I have been looking, and then I saw these and I kind of remembered how much I used to love Bobbi Brown. I kind of thought it was worth a go. I have to say it's a good price point, £42, because you still get a mirror. It's a nice compact. It's not like a shabby, I was going to say plasticky, they're all plastic, but it's not a shabby kind of finish. Actually, let me just, I don't know whether you can see, they've now, with the new branding, they've got the B watermark. It's nice. It doesn't come with a brush or anything like that, which I kind of quite like, as it hasn't got clutter. Let's give this a go, and I will go into the darkest of the shades, as you can see here, and let's just put a little bit in the crease and just see how this goes and how they blend. I mean, in store I was kind of blending, and while the metallics, they didn't feel super soft or kind of particularly creamy, but they did blend in well when I was, as I said, when I was fiddling about with them. So I thought it was worth a go, and as I said, for this kind of makeup, the colours are right up my street, so I thought it was worth doing. And this is the kind of year where, as much as I'm attracted to really bright colours as well, and more metallic-y intensity and a little bit more drama, not so much drama actually, a bit more fun colours, bright greens, blues, that sort of. It's also, when it's a particularly warm, sultry day, I do find these kind of shades really flattering. And actually, as it happens today, was that kind of a day. So that's what that looks like. It's actually very nice. The other palette that I really like, and I have spoken about this before on the channel, but I'm just pointing it out. I mean, MAC is the same, for me, is the same as Bobbi Brown in that way, are these. Now, these are these little palettes that they do in 6s, and this is the warm version. This is actually the latest one called Nude Board. I say the latest, I think it's it's the one that came out just after Christmas, I think, or maybe, yeah, just after Christmas. But I've used that one a lot for the same reason that I've used this, actually, in that it's easy, warm, muted shades. And as I said, the thing about Bobbi Brown, like MAC, it's a great price point. So if you fancy something new or you want to take something away on holiday that's really easy, it's not going to break the bank. We're not in Tom Ford territory, although I did want to show you the Tom Ford, which was the recent peach palette. I forget what it's called. What's it called? Peach Glamour. And I will swatch it just to show you, because it may well be that you were interested in it and the price put you off, which would be totally understandable. And I think there's not a makeup lover in the land who would not understand that could be the case. But let me just show you the shimmers below. These are the Tom Ford. Now, you've got a lot more high shine. It's much more of a glassy finish, and they are much softer, but you're in the same territory. So honestly, if you are attracted to the Tom Ford spring range, which I know is still out on counter, maybe this is something else to consider. Anyway, let's go on and put some of these shimmers on. So I'm going to go for this one here. Now, they have got names. This one's called Glazed Peach, and the dark colour the matte colour that I used is Deep Cocoa. So the two bronzes are Glazed Peach and Summer Sunset. So let's go with the Glazed Peach first, which is the lighter of the two. Let's put that in on the inner corner and see what happens. See if it shows up. Yeah, it does show up. And now I'm going to put I forgot already what it's called, Summer Sunset, on the lid. Now, this is actually more sparkly than I thought it would be. It's rather interesting. Now, I think maybe on the other eye, what I'll do, actually, let's do that first, is with a clean brush, I will put the lighter of the shades, this one here, the second lightest, this one here, which is almost for me as it's just a bit lighter than my skin tone. So let's put that on the lid first and see whether if putting the shimmer on that makes a difference. Is it going to make it more subtle? Not sure there is. Oh, there is a difference actually. It does make it more subtle. Can you see that? Can you see that the one that went straight on my eyelid is, this one is much more sparkly, and this one is it's more subtle, I think. Yeah. It's definitely more subtle. I'm just going to have a quick look. Which one do we prefer? I suppose it's different looks, isn't it? This one is actually quite work friendly. It's just a little bit of a sparkle, but it's not very disco. And this one is certainly a bit more impactful. Let's see, we'll do one of each. Why not? See which one we think. That's nice, isn't it, though, that you can get out of this palette an amped up look without having to put more on or put more of the darker shade in the crease. It's actually just a question of how you layer it. So that's rather nice, actually. That's a nice differential. So can you see that one is a lot more sparkly. Okay, let's continue. These are very, very soft, these eyeshadows. They're not difficult to blend. As I said, even the shimmers, even the metallics, I was going to say underfoot, not underfoot, under finger. Once you swipe, they feel a bit gritty, but they're not gritty on the eye. And actually, if I sort of do that and put it back on redo the swipe, it doesn't feel gritty when I'm doing that at all. I think maybe it might be a coating. To be honest, I think it is a coating, because as I'm doing it again now, it doesn't feel as gritty. So maybe that's it. Maybe they've been coated with something and that coating's gone. Okay, well, that's good to know. Yeah, no, it's definitely less gritty. I mean, not even less gritty, not gritty at all. So if they were going on as they are now, I wouldn't even have mentioned the grittiness. So it's obviously just a coating. So more of the dark brown just underneath my eye like this. Okay. And what I'll do is I'll take a little brush. I've got one somewhere. A really little brush. Where is it? Pointy brush. One of these. And I'll go into the lighter of the shimmers and see if I can put more in the inner corner. There we go. Okay, so that's that. Now, mascara. I am very late to the party with this new mascara. I think it came out a good 2 months ago, maybe more. And it's the Haus mascara. You can see it's still in the packet. It's made in Italy, it's £27 and it's a lengthening and a volumizing mascara. Now it looks like that, it's got panthenol in. I'm a real fan of Haus in general, so I've got high hopes. But I have read mixed reviews and watched videos with mixed reviews as well. What I am hoping for from this mascara is not so much the thickening, because for this look, I like something that's lengthening. If it's going to be black, it must only be a lengthening mascara, because generally I would probably do brown with this. But as I said, I wanted to try this and I thought it was worth doing. So let's see. This is the brush. Let me just do it that way for you. Yeah, can you see it dips? It's got a little dip in the middle. So let's see. Let's see what claims it makes. It's got silk and rice protein. It gives us 5 times volume and that's it. Volumizing and lengthening mascara. As I said, I'm more interested in the lengthening. Now I have not curled my lashes. Shall I curl my lashes? Yeah, I'll curl this side. No, I'll curl this side because this is the weaker side. So this is probably the one that needs the most help. And then that way we can see what it's like with curled and uncurled lashes. So I'll just do that now and I will be back. Okay, so I've curled this side. So now let's give the old Haus a go. Let's see how it goes on. So this is the uncurled side. I'm saying it out loud to remind myself. I'm sure you can keep up, but I can't. As I'm applying this, I'm looking at the eyeshadow and I really like it. That's a good sign. Okay, so it's definitely lengthening and it's separating. The question is it doing it better than the other lengthening and volumizing mascaras? But so far, it's not so much the volume I can see the lengthening, but the mascara market now, we have got so much choice, haven't we? It is a thrilling time, actually, to be a mascara lover, because from the high street to high end, you've got so much choice. And I just think they've just got to try a lot harder to woo us and to keep us loyal to a particular mascara. Okay, so that's what that looks like. That's one coat. I think that's a reasonable one coat. Reasonable first coat anyway. This is the curled side. I think that my lashes on this side are slightly less thick. Plus also there's that thing where I'm right-handed, so I'm crossing, I sort of have to go across my body. So I think that affects the application very slightly anyway. And that's why I think it was helpful to give this side a little bit of a boost and a little bit of help. I'm not sure it's doing anything that special so far. That's what I would say. When you've got such good mascaras from Charlotte Tilbury, the new Dior now is really good. The Prada, I have to say I do really like the Prada mascara, and it has kept performing well after a good 2 or 3 weeks of first being opened. All these mascaras have got big shoes to fill when it comes to coming on the market as a new mascara and holding our attention. So that's what that looks like. Is there a difference between the lashes that have been curled, this one, and the ones that haven't? I'm not sure there is. I'm just turning to the side slightly. Is there a difference? I don't think I can see a difference. I can see that the mascara is nice and even, and I do think the lashes have been fanned, which I'm a bit of a fan of, only because I'm quite sensitive to clumping, just because I do keep, as I've said before, I do keep going with mascara until the situation becomes untenable. I'm now applying a second coat and I don't feel I have to keep going. I do feel I've got a nice finish with this mascara. Maybe it's better than I thought because it isn't clumping. I wouldn't say it's thickening. Is it thickening? It's definitely lengthening and fanning. And I'll tell you what it's doing. It's doing what I really wanted. The new Lancôme mascara, the Flutter mascara. I really wanted that mascara to do this. And for me, it didn't. I was a bit underwhelmed. In fact, I was very underwhelmed and disappointed because Lancôme really knows how to make a good mascara. So I didn't feel it was their best effort homework. That's what I didn't feel. This, on the other hand, actually, as I said, it's doing what I wanted. I wanted the Lancôme mascara to do, and I didn't want it to thicken it, and thickening isn't what it does. It gives you a very fanned out, fluttery lash. That's what Lancôme one's meant to do. I think this one genuinely has given me a fanned out, fluttery lash. This is fluttery lash. What do you think? This is 2 coats now. I'm not going to do any more. I'm looking in the mirror and I just like that effect. Tell me what you think. What do you think? You gonna go for this? Or is it like a mascara that you already use? Because as I said, that's what I'm looking at, this to open up my eyes a little bit. Okay, that's the mascara. I think that's actually better than I thought. I'm gonna keep using it and I will report back. Yeah, let's see. Okay, blusher. So here we have, this was a bit random for me. I was walking through Selfridges. This was about a month ago. These were exclusive to Selfridges for a little bit and they're not anymore, so that's good. Morphe Cheek Thrills. I got the colour Beach Bonfire, which is, there's a theme here, a coral peach. Now, they look like this. It's retro packaging really. And this is what they look like. And here we've got a velvet powder, which has got which will give you an airbrush effect with a natural finish. In the middle, you've got a luminous balm, which will give you dimensional shine with a shimmering finish. And then here, we've got a satin cream with pigmented colour, which will give you a natural finish. Now, both the shimmer and the satin cream come with a lovely plastic lid. Now, I know lots of people are doing these now, and I'm just pointing out to you that I think it was Patrick Tar? I know Natasha Denona in her face palettes, she did it as well, but I'm just reminding you, Patrick Tar, I've got the mirror there, yeah, there we go, did this, and again, little plastic cover to keep everything nice and clean. I find the Patrick Tar in the end problematic. I find it so highly pigmented and I have to make such an effort not to make myself look ridiculous that I've ended up not using it the way I thought I would use it, because I love the colour, but you've just got to be really light-handed and not be distracted, and that's two things that oftentimes I'm not. So I thought I'd give it another go because frankly, £19, it's not much of a commitment. There are 7 shades, and as I said, as you can tell, I went for the peachy shade. So let's give this a little go. I'm going to go for the powder first and just lightly dust and see what we think. And then with a different brush, oh, that's got a nice look. Is it meant to have luminous? It says a natural finish. I can see a bit of luminosity, although it may be because of the Beauty Serum. Oh, that's rather nice. That's what that looks like. Let's just do the other side. And now I'm not being very strategic when I put this on, partly because for this look I wanted to be able to have something that I could literally just assemble my makeup bag with all this stuff and then know that on holiday or a weekend break or holiday or whatever, I've got everything I need to have all in one go, which is why I quite like the idea of this, because it's got a bit of everything. Now I'm going to put a little bit of the cream on. That's rather nice. That's quite pigmented. Just reminding you, £19, that's a lot of pigment. I mean, I hope it lasts. Lovely. Okay. Now, how am I going to do this? I think I'm just going to use a smallish eyeshadow brush. This is the Refa 16, because we've got the luminous balm. Actually, I say that. No, this is the wrong brush. Ignore what I just told you, because it is a balm. Hang on, I'll tell you what I didn't do. I didn't swatch these for you. I'm dreadful. I do apologise. I'm going to swatch these for you. And actually, had I swatched them, I would have known, there we go, that, oh my goodness. All right, so here we go. In the middle is the luminous balm that's got dimensional, there you go, dimensional shine with a shimmering finish. Can you see that? It's got a shift to it. Wow. Okay. And then here we've got the powder on this side. Is that right? Yeah, on this side we've got the powder, and on the other side we've got the satin cream. But look at the luminous balm in the middle. I'm going to put a bit more on to show you. Look at that. There you go. That's amazing. So that's a goldy, peachy, pinky shift. Okay, let's give this a go. Should have done that earlier. I do apologise. So now I'll still use my Refa, is it 3 or 2? My LCO2. And let's see if we put a little bit of this on the top. Oh, that's rather nice. All I'm doing is stippling. I'm not doing anything to... Let me just give this a little bit of a blend. That is rather nice. As I said, there are 7 shades, well, 7 trios as it were. Quite a lot to choose from. And if you look on the website, there's a real range of colours. I mean, I was sorely tempted to buy, I think out of the 7, I think there were 5 that I really liked. So, and this is a nice finish. I don't know what you think. Do let me know what you think. And is this the product that you like? Either a duo like the Patrick Tar or this as a trio. I mean, I think you get quite a lot for your money actually, assuming it lasts. And now finally, Gucci. This colour is new. When I say new, I think they came out a couple of weeks ago, maybe. This is Valeria Rose. Now this comes like this because it's the gloss, it's the ones which are a satin gloss hybrid. So it's not the matte finishes or the actual lip glosses that have got the sort of traditional applicator. This is the in between. And I like this finish. Now, I've not tried any Gucci lipsticks before, apart from the matte shade they met in Argentina, which I really love. And I bought when I was in a little bit of a pickle overseas, and I loved it, and it finished, and then I forgot about it. And now my love for it has been rekindled. It's all very romantic. We'd forgotten how much we loved each other. So when I went to Selfridges to buy another one of those, I also looked at the new ones and saw this. So let me show you. This is Valeria Rose. Now I'm just gonna, there we go. Now they describe it as a classic soft pink. I would not describe it as a classic soft pink. To me, it's got a bit of terracotta in there. Now, when I was on counter, I literally didn't look at the names because they have got this new range, and they've got the same colour in three different iterations of their lip finishes. And I just like the colour. But then I came home and I saw it had the word pink in, and then I looked up their description, classic soft pink. I don't think it is a classic soft pink, but it's certainly the colour I do really like. So I'm just going to put a little bit of, what have I got here? I've got Lisa Eldridge. Let's put this on. This is Lisa Eldridge in 2C. This is just to hold the colour in. Let's put this on. Now, I'm just pointing it out. You've probably seen this, but in case you haven't, these glosses, which are, what are they called? I'm not sure what they are called. Hang on a second. Here's the box. Okay, Glow and Care Lip Colour. Fine. Okay, so they say the glow lasts, the actual shine, the gloss lasts 4 hours plus, and it's also got a 24-hour hydration formula in it. But let's give this a go, because it's all about the colour, isn't it? Doesn't look pink to me. Does it look pink to you? Please let me know. Am I missing something? I would imagine Gucci would know about colour. So I don't feel I'm the person who should be contradicting them. It applies so smoothly. I mean, it really does. And I do like this colour. What do you think? Yeah, it's a nice colour. It's a lovely texture. It's lovely. And my lips are actually slightly dry because I've been sneezing, and so my lips are dry, even though I've been putting lip balm on. So it's quite a good time to test a new lip product, actually. So that's it. Now that is the finished look. What do you think? From my point of view, when I look in the mirror, I don't know whether I'm over blushed. I can't tell. But I do quite like it. And it does feel like I'm wearing something that feels quite warm and summery, which I like. But over to you. I would like to know what you think. And do you think these eyeshadows are too much? Because remember, this one didn't have the eyeshadow base on it. The shimmer is brighter. I'm not sure you can tell though. I'll close my eyes so you can have a look now that it's settled into my crepiness. Let me know what you think. So this is the complete look. As I said, these are products which I think are mainly well priced. I think the most expensive thing really in terms of the item itself, of the Gucci lipstick and the eyeshadows. But I mean, that's just part of what we do. Luxury makeup is luxury makeup. But equally, the Beauty Pie is good value. It's a lovely finish. I'm fully expecting it to last, to get a good 8 to 10 hours, as I did with the previous one. Not least because the reviews are, there's very much a loyal community on Beauty Pie, and so I do trust the reviews in that people are really, they're encouraged to write as much as they want to write, and this does have a good following. I'm just reminding you, I did, however, put a little bit of powder on, a bit of the Givenchy Prisme Libre on my T-zone. You may or may not need to do that. As I said, I'd put quite a bit of skincare underneath because I'd rather do it that way and still powder than the other way around, and then end up perhaps with skin that gets a bit dry throughout the day. So that's it. I hope that was useful and fun. Thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. And if you do comment down below, I read every comment and I answer as much as I can. I'm always interested to hear what you think. Thank you so much for joining me, and see you in the next video. Bye.